Howdy folks, welcome back. Here we are at October 18th of 2022. You can see our loop playing. You can see we've had a CME a little here and then the full Halo CME. So I'll let that loop play for a second here. Let me scroll down just a tad bit more for you so you can see it better. Alright, let that loop play for a second. We have this big bright shaft that's been coming off the sun here for like over a week now. I've been watching this area. It's been spitting all kinds of little stuff, but when this CME happens, this full Halo CME, it appears there's an object comes out of this zone right here, and then another one coming out. When it starts again right here in the middle. And we don't have all the data on this day here. For some reason, we don't have all the data, so we'll freeze frame it and start going through it frame by frame. But I just want you to notice that as this full Halo CME erupts, that we have an object streaking out here, one coming out here. It appears we have like multiple objects in this one. So here we go. Let me scroll down and we'll get it back to the opening. All right, this is about halfway into the series, but this is where our event starts to take place. Then as we go forward here, you'll see we had some, ejected coming out of this zone over here, but then here comes this full Halo CME. I mean, it's missing one little tiny piece right there. I think that's where the occulter arm goes across right there. So here's our CME coming out. You can see our big bright flash is right in this zone right here. And then as this emerges, you can see we have a nice round black object right here. Here's the CME out in front of it. Here's another round black object up here. So I'm going to scroll down. We're going to zoom in on this stuff for you folks so you can see it. First, let's go to this top one here. And in between these two plus signs, you can see we have a round black circular shadow right here. Let me back out just a little bit. The cameras pick up a little bit better there. All right, move that out of the way. So right in this zone appears to be one. And then, of course, there's this one down here. We'll scroll up to that next. All right, you can clearly see we have this nice round black object. And then it appears that there's possibly a cluster of these objects slammed into the backside of the sun, into its magnetic field, and then scattered like pool balls. And there appears to be one down here too, and another one up here. Now this isn't the clearest footage. I almost didn't report on this one because it's not crystal clear as a bell, but it is an event that's very important because it appears we have multiple objects. There appears to be one down in this zone too. So as we go back and forward through this a little bit, I want you to see how these all come out at the same time. Like I said, like pool balls scattering when you break a rack of pool balls. Let me back out just a little bit more. Whoops. Let's back out all the way here. Move this out of the way. We'll go forward just a tad bit more here so you can see as these come out. Notice how this one up here shoots off in that direction. All right, let's zoom back into that area again here. Okay, we'll pull this out of the way, scroll up a little bit right there. So it appears we have this one and this one shooting out first, and then another one down here, something down here. So it appears we had multiple objects there. All right, and then here is our last frame. As we back out, we're at 1812 down here on the counter, right? Then our next frame forward is 2324. It's not the last frame. There's a couple more. So there's 3 last frames of this day, but the frames for the 5 hours between 1812 and 2324 is all missing. That's the second half of this event as these things scatter and go out in their different directions. So we're missing some data from this event, but we did catch enough to catch these objects causing this huge CME. And as you can see, there's nothing much going on over on this side, but there still is this shockwave, this Halo shockwave. And we're going to go over to stereo A here. We're going to pull up stereo A because this is going to tell us what direction that shock wave is heading. And I'm going to let that loop play for a second. And I want you guys to kind of look for yourselves here what direction you think that shock wave is heading. So we're going to go down here and we're going to stop it because it's important that right about here is right where we first start seeing it. It starts emerging. Well, let me pull this down a little better. All right. It just starts to emerge. A little shock wave is emerging from this side. It's going to come out over here as we go forward and then backward a little bit. And it's going off to the right-hand side, which is Earth directed. So I believe that this full halo CME is Earth directed. We might see just a glancing blow from it. I don't think it's going to be a direct hit, but I do think we will see some kind of glancing blow. As we back up just real quick, here's that object that had come off the top. You can make it out in this one just faintly. The other ones are all kind of going this way towards the side, but you can make out the shock wave right here. I don't know how well it's picking up on the red side, but that indicates that this full halo CME right here is coming in our direction. There'll be more data on this later on that'll either confirm that or, you know, reject it, but it appears from stereo A that this one is kind of heading in our direction. So let's see if I can get this back into motion for you. Okay, so here we go one more time. This thing's spitting and sputtering, and then boom, there's our full halo CME. And that's partial data. It extended out even further than that. We don't have all the data, but it looks like we had multiple objects there. And like I said, it looks like a rack of pool balls got scattered. One goes that way, one this way, one that way. If we can find one good frame, right? Whoops, let me back up right about here, because here there's one in this zone. It appears we have one going off right here. There's a pack of like 3 of them right here, and then another one down in this area. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6 objects right here, all fanned out, that just kind of, I think we're probably in some kind of cluster as they struck the backside of the sun's magnetic field. Probably like one of the inner rings of, you know, this magnetic bubbles that extend out at different rings. It probably hit one of these inner rings that's a lot stronger, and it bursts these things apart. And when they scatter like this, they cause these CMEs, taking plasma and stuff with them as they go. And this time it was such a scattering that it caused a full halo CME. So that was for today, and there hasn't been much activity in the last few days. I do want to go back to the 15th here and cover this event really quick that we haven't covered yet. I think this is right after my previous report, so this is another event that we did not cover there. So while it's loading up there, notice this inbound sun diving comet right there. Do you guys see that? Alright, so here's our big CME, explodes out down here. It appears we had some objects causing that, and then this huge comet comes streaking in there. Let's see if it picks it up on the red side as well. Yeah, you can see it on both sides, on the red side and on the black and white side here. And this one wasn't crystal clear either. A lot of these events are draped in so much plasma that it's hard to tell what's going on, so I don't report on them. Usually I'll report on ones that are a little clearer to see. But as we're in this frame right here, here's this huge dent again in this bow shock, in this instrument's reading right here. And here's our dark shaded object right in this zone. And you can make out there's a round magnetic field. It appears it has its own magnetic bubble or magnetic field around it. And as we back up a little bit, you'll kind of follow it backwards, but this series of images wasn't the best. So that's the opening frame right here at 024. It's already underway. If you look over on this side, you can see all this plasma spitting out, but we have this huge dark patch right here. So here's this dark patch, and that's where this dent in our reading is. And I believe that's where our object is, right in there. Could be this black dot behind the blue line. But then it jumps to this image, and you can see there's some kind of shaded something in there. There it is. And then it proceeds out of frame with even more, another little CME, possible another object in there, trailing as that one moves out. And then we have this big sun diving comet come right into the area that CME erupted from, almost like if somebody was shooting at it. This looks like almost like a missile coming in shooting at it, but I believe it's just a sun diving comet. And here, look at this frame right here. Look how bright the streak is when this whole frame was blacked out, and yet the streak of this comet is still in there. Impressive. I've never seen it, so strong that it was able to blind out the camera and still stay in the frame. It appears we have another object moving out right down here too, and stuff coming out over here on the side. Let me zoom this down just a little bit so you guys can see this stuff over here, this, as that sun diver came in. So it appears we still have multiple objects, doing all kinds of activity. We have this huge sun diving comet that streaks in here. Let's just do this one more time. For this sun diver, is right here in the corner as it comes in. You can make out this little white dot. It's even got a nice little white tail behind it. There's that frame. Boom. Really makes it stand out. And then it just dives right into the sun. Usually they burn up right out in here. That one made it in there quite deep, so it almost looks like that's the impact from it, but it's not. This event happened previous to the sun diver. But let's see if we can capture over here on this red side just a little bit this huge dark patch. This is a huge CME that's blasting out here, and we have this dark patch right in the middle of it. That's where I believe our object is. There's something showing up there too, but right here is this opening frame as it comes out. You can just kind of tell on this red side. Sometimes when you can't see it over on this side, this red side gives it away with these dark patches and streaks and stuff. There appears to be something circular in this little zone there. Let me just zoom in on this frame real quick because it's just so circular. Look at all these bubbles, these circular shapes. Boom, boom. This almost looks like a magnetic field, the edge of the field of an object that's in the center. Here's another one with its little edge going around it. Here's another circular shape up here that's clinging on to the back side of this. It's just so many circles in that image. And then right here, I believe this is our object right in this little zone. So I just wanted to zoom into that one frame because it had just so many circles in it. Perfect circle right here, another circular shape right here. Like I said, another one up there. So that was on the 15th. We had that activity. And then we'll go back and close out with the 18th. Load that up one more time and close out with this. This is probably Venus, I believe, probably crossing back through there. It's just one of our planets. I'll have to make sure, but I'm pretty sure that it's just either Venus or Mercury or something crossing through the field of view right there. Let me scooch back over this way a little bit more and let you watch that loop, or the loop play on that full halo, because that's a pretty distinct full halo. So, and like I said, we went to stereo A and checked it out, and it was moving off to the right hand side of stereo A, which indicates that it's Earth directed. This is just happened on the 18th. These typically have 3 days it takes for them to reach Earth. So that would be the 21st. So I would expect to see if any impact at all from this would be around the 21st. And that incident from the 15th would have been today. We would see, impacts from that, but that one wasn't Earth directed. So right now, everything, has been really quiet lately. But this new CME, this full halo one, I have a feeling is Earth directed. And when we get more data on this, I'll do an update and we'll find out more and I'll give you a report. But for now, that's it. I just thought I'd bring that to you guys because I haven't done a report in a few days and there has been some activity. It's hard to see, but when we sit down and kind of go through it frame by frame, you can see there's been little objects out there, something that's causing these CMEs. I mean, you can clearly see that these things are interacting with the sun and causing these CMEs. So that's it for tonight. I love you all. I miss you all. Thank you all. God bless you all. And until my next video, bye.